Okay, with that in mind, we can start. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Underground Arcade, which is a show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Artur Lopez. I'll be your main host. Here with me, I have CK. CK, say hello. He's my co-host.
Hello.
How you doing, CK? You doing good?
Yes.
And then we have our special guest, the Bulgarian Mario Brothers, if you will. We have Costa and Alex on the other side. Hello, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Hello.
It's funny because they have red and green shirts.
It's fun, yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for having us. It's a pleasure being here.
Pleasure is all ours. You guys are the first guests of might be either a train wreck or a complete success. Now, either way, this is going on my portfolio.
No, it's going to be successful.
Now, before we continue, I just want to say that, well, first of all, I'm really excited about this project. It's a project where we just get together and talk about gaming, all things gaming, really. And today's topics is going to be something very specific. It's going to be something personal. We're going to touch on it a little bit later, but first, we're just going to start off with a little bit of gaming history, and we're going to talk about what games mean to us and why we like them so much. And I'm just going to start off on a tangent here, and I'm just going to go straight to the guests.
Yes.
Guys, tell me, when did you guys realize that games were just a big hobby of yours?
Oh, I love these stories.
Yeah, same.
Alex, you go first.
Because I remember their stories about certain games.
I think it was when we got... Well, I don't know how old I was, but we've got 3.5 years difference. But I don't know, I was maybe 7 or 8, I'm not sure. But I got a present from our aunt, and it was, Super Mario, man. We
Oh,
played.
wow. Way
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was...
It was some generic console. It wasn't like a Nintendo. It was.
It was. I think it was a Nintendo knockoff. But it was the one that you plugged the cassette, and it was
It
Nah.
could, it
Oh,
could
back
be
when it wouldn't work and you just have to blow it. Like,
no, we
no,
never had.
before
If it
that,
doesn't work, then
could
it
be-
doesn't work at all. You
Oh,
have to buy
shit.
another.
It's very likely it's either the Nintendo Entertainment System or the Super Nintendo.
or a knockoff. Could be
Yes.
a
I
knockoff.
think it was a knockoff.
It was a Chinese knockoff, completely. Like, cause
We still have. We should check, man.
yeah.
Bring it
we
back to the
still
arcade
check 'em,
for
you know. Yeah, bring it back to
content
the
video.
arcade.
But anyway, so we got this gift, and we're like, at first we're like, what is this? Is it like a video player? You know the.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask you guys about something. Because you guys are, why would I bring you guys in here? Because you guys own a business. And what is this business? What do you guys do? And where are you
Ooh,
placed and
free
all that?
plug,
Give us a quick,
free
free
advertisement
plug.
for
Free
you
plug.
guys.
A little bit of free promotion. Why not?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, basically, what we do is virtual reality, and we own this great place called Matrix VR. It's just down the road from here, actually. It's in Digbeth, Birmingham.
It's about a 15, 20-minute walk from
Yeah.
here, I would say.
Yeah,
Even less than that.
I'd say 10
10,
minutes.
15
Yeah.
minutes tops.
Yeah, something around those side, yeah.
But yeah, we actually, I'm not allowed to say that. You guys,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely allowed to say
the,
it.
the two hosts, they actually work for us, with us. I'd rather say with us. 'Cause,
Yeah, for us, with us.
it's yeah.
We slave away with
So
these things. That's kind of what we do.
What we do is basically people come to us, and most of them have their first experience on VR, which is great. Like,
You also have some like cool events, like the Beat Saber community come to you guys and
Yeah.
play some games. Sometimes we go out. We just went to Belfry last week,
yeah.
and that was a lot of fun.
That was the biggest event
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
far. Like
Yeah.
70 people.
Shout out to my laptop, the old one.
Oh, the Predator.
The
That
MVP.
saved the fucking day. Had an issue and I had to replace it. If you're out there and you're still alive and you're playing this podcast, be it on Spotify or YouTube, I miss you, man. I miss you. Acer Triton 700 with a 1080 Max Q. I miss you, but
He was too hot, man.
it was too hot for me. Anyway, so you guys own a VR arcade, and that's awesome because that's kind of like the highest spec of gaming that we can kind of talk about at the moment because we're literally we are literally reaching the point where in VR you don't even need controllers, you can just use your hands, and that's that's insane. That's actually insane.
Oculus Quest hand tracking.
And now we got the guests kind of covered. CK, how you
Yes.
doing?
I'm very good.
Are you? Why are you in the podcast? What relates you to gaming? You tell me.
Okay, well, probably one of the earliest memories of gaming is going to my uncle's using the Nintendo 64.
Oh,
Very classic.
sweet.
And then when I got my own console, I didn't know how to use it at all. It was basically my dad's, but it was a gift to me for Christmas, and I would just stare at the start menu for Jack 1.
Oh
PS2
yes, it's great.
until I saw someone play it, and then I got
Jack as
into
in like Jack and Dexter.
Jack and the yes,
Oh, I love that.
classic.
Such a good game. Jack 2 and 3 are some of like my biggest games.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're all in here. BNCK, we are. I hate saying this, but we're avid gamers. I hate saying that the
Avid.
gamer word. Like I hate
Yeah.
saying that because it's such a meme now in 2020 that when you say like, yeah, I'm a gamer, people are
Yeah.
gonna look at you and just think that you're some sort of like fat loser.
Yeah, it's like you
It's-
come
it's-
with Mountain Dew and Doritos.
Yeah, Mountain Dew and Doritos, and you smell like I don't know a sock that hasn't been washed in 3 years.
Just
I
so-
hate saying it, but yeah. As in for me, I decided to leave the least interesting for last. As in for me, my first console was a Game Boy Color. It was way back, and I used to play all sorts of stuff like Pokemon Red and Blue.
What color was it?
It was yellow. It had a Pikachu design on it. So and I got the Pokemon a yellow version with Pikachu as a thingy. Oh, I really miss that now. But yeah, I think the moment that I realized like my God, games are just so much fun was way back in 2004. So I would have been 2003. I would have been about 5 by that time. And my dad and my mom gave me a PlayStation 1. You know, the original one, like the gray looking thing.
Yeah.
So I had that, and they bought me this game called Star Wars Battlefront 1. Now, we're
That's how
going
it all
back.
began.
That's how it all
Battlefront
began.
1.
Now, for those of you who haven't played Star Wars Battlefront 1 or who haven't heard of it, or if you just heard about the EA version, those are in the OGs. The OGs were in the PS1 and PS2. And the OG was like one of the greatest games I've ever played. It doesn't matter, like even nowadays when the graphics are all cubey and shit and everything looks like some sort of Minecraft mod.
Yeah.
It's still my favorite game. And I remember being in the Republic side and I would pick the different classes like this is the best spot for the sniper.
Right,
and I'd bring some friends over, they bring their controllers, we would all play and I would whoop their ass against the enemy team. I would be carrying them so hard. It was against NPCs, but I was just so proud of it. I think that was the moment that I realized like there's so many ways to play one game. Mom was just like, you were the easiest child to entertain. Like legit, you were so easy to entertain. But yeah, I think that's the game that turned me into like really explore it more, like invest a bit more in it as a hobby.
Dude,
That's
when you
really
s-
cool.
sorry.
Yeah,
Good.
I was gonna say that's really cool. That's kind of like your parents brought you into that because for us, our parents were
I
against
remember
it.
this.
Super against
Yes.
it.
Yeah, they would have never like. I remember hiding and playing Hitman 2. Like, this is a game.
Oh wait, I think I remember Alex telling me the story of you
weren't
not
telling
having
a story about
a
Doom or
memory
something?
card.
Doom 3?
No, I got
Yeah.
So you'd have to leave it
I,
on.
I wanted to go on a little tangent. When you said like about the graphics and stuff of the old games,
Yeah.
that's something. A few years back, I went on a game I used to love to play. It's
Flight
Carmageddon 2.
Armageddon. Oh,
Carmageddon.
Oh, Carmageddon.
Yeah.
There's a mod for that on GTA 5 or something.
Dude.
I remember that.
And I remember when I played it when I was about 6, 7. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know how old I was.
And it was
seven,
just
seven, or eight,
pixels. It was
something like
literally
that.
pixels.
And no, at the time I was like, damn, that's
That's
realistic.
sick. It
Yeah.
looks so
Yeah,
good.
that's
It's
like-
almost like I'm looking at a cat. And and now a few years back I played it, I'm like, oh, that's what I used to play. That's horrible, but I still loved it.
Yeah, it's horrible, but like nowadays when you look
Yeah.
at a game that
Yes.
old, you
Yeah.
can just realize that like back in 2002 or 3 when
Yeah.
Battlefront 1 was released, I'm like, this soldier moves
Yeah.
and he like bobbles when he
Yeah.
walks and
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm just like,
It's like
that's so cool.
That's really
it's like comparing
You know, Alex, do you remember at our cousin's place?
Yeah,
We
I
would
was-
play GTA.
exactly. I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
gonna
You
point
can
that
only-
out.
No,
you can-
it's the arcade view where you see from the top. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
literally so cool.
Isn't that the first GTA?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then if you compare
Yeah.
it from San Andreas
the-
using CJ
Oh, San Andreas. I
to
don't
the
think
three
I have.
protagonists.
Dude, even people that are considered themselves like to not play games casually, they play. Everyone knows what San Andreas is.
Yeah.
Such a good time. I still remember one of the hacks off by heart, or like two
Oh,
of them.
yeah.
It was the jetpack one. It was
Oh,
L1,
even
L2,
L2,
R1, R2, up,
right,
down,
left, right.
left,
Oh,
right.
No,
up,
we
down, left, right.
we never. A little disclosure: we never had a PlayStation. We had, well, to begin with, we always played on PC.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
years later, we got an Xbox.
I was gonna go into
But
that.
I remember the cheats, man.
Everyone-
Panzer for the tank. There was leave me alone to get the police off your back.
Legit. Oh, it was so good. There was like the weapons packs 1, 2, and 3 and stuff. Dude, this
Don't
is
you
stuff
think-
that I remember.
Don't you think it was
Way
really
back.
cool as well when you play it? And obviously, if you got more than one brother or sister, there's always that
Can't
one
relate.
point where you can get a second player involved as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to love that. I don't have siblings. Unfortunately, I'm the only person in this room without a sibling. But I had loads of friends back at school. Now I don't have them. But I had loads of friends back in school, and we would always like hang out after school, go to each other's places, play games. And this is gonna bring me into the next topic, guys.
Oh yeah.
Favorite games as a child. Let's go back, think about the favorite games as a child, and then after that, I have a segment which is gonna be our first PC experience. And for you guys
PC.
said that you guys only played on PC. I wasn't that case. I didn't play on PC until a bit later on.
Yeah, console for a while.
Yeah, what's console for a while? Because it's more casual. Anyway, but yeah,
Yes.
favorite games as a child. We're going to start a little bit with CK. CK, your favorite games.
Okay.
Give me like 3 or 4.
My first properly one that's always gonna stick with me is obviously the Jack and Daxter series.
Yes, agreed.
'Cause it is my first ever game. And then I'd say the second one, I wasn't very good at the beginning, which was the Tekken series. I think we had
Tekken was good.
3 or Tekken Tag Tournament, the original. I had a appeal towards Hwoarang, which is the Korean taekwondo guy. I'd always get my ass kicked, but still liked it. And then I think the third one, which wouldn't be a game that I usually played a lot, but as a child I was watching a lot of my friends play it, would be the Metal Gear Solid series. So I'd spend,
Metal Gear is
and
great.
it'd be weird because it felt like I'd be watching a speed run because my friend, I'd stay at the place for the whole day with my friend for the whole day, and this guy would go from start to finish completing Metal Gear Solid 2, and you know that is quite like a
Yeah, that is
long game.
that is a long career of like that's a
Yeah.
long thing to do.
in one day.
That's sick. Let's switch over to our special guests. Guys, favorite games as as little boys. As little Luigi and little Mario from Bulgaria.
I'm gonna have to say, well, first of all, I have a big thing for Need for Speed.
Oh.
Need for Speed.
That's
Ooh.
the game we
Most
played
Wanted.
so much.
Oh,
Even
classic.
Underground too.
Underground
and
was great.
Underground 1, the way like the graphics even back then
They were very
when I
impressive
think
still
about
back
Yeah,
then.
yeah, they're still good.
and also Hitman. That's Hitman. Yeah, this is a game that I pretty much know by heart. Like I can play it right now, and I would know where to find everything.
Hitman Silent Assassin, yeah.
Yeah, and but yeah,
One more.
Well, I'm gonna have to say I've played a lot of Vice City, like
Vice City.
yeah,
They
GTA.
talk of,
yeah.
talk of a remake for that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for GTA 6.
Yeah, there's gonna be one, yeah.
What, there's going to be Tommy Vercetti in there?
I'm not sure
I'm
about
not sure if
Tommy
it's gonna
Vercetti,
be. Yeah, I'm
but
not sure if it's gonna be
very
the same
likely to be
protagonist.
set in Vice City. again.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say like define childhood because to me we're all children, man. We're
Yeah,
all
exactly.
playing
To me, we're
stuff.
all still kids, but
No.
yeah, I'm gonna talk about like before 10.
Right. Well, the first game was Super Mario. Man, that hooked me. I was like,
Ooh.
why would people do anything else?
Dude.
Like, why would I sleep? My grandfather was like, what are you doing? When are you gonna get rest? And I'm like, I'm resting right now. But yeah, well, basically, Costa and I were very similar because we played together, right?
Yeah.
But
It was
yeah.
difficult to get games back then. Like
Yeah.
honestly, we had to figure out how to burn CDs and where to get the games
yeah,
from.
we didn't buy them. I'm sorry.
It's and when you burn the CDs and then they turn out to be corrupt, and it's another day of trying to get a game. And
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
that would be
I-
terrible.
To this day, I remember that on Need for Speed Underground 2, the activation code finished with RLD07 or something like that.
God,
And we
look at
thought-
how burned into this memory.
I
It's
remember-
like
yeah,
a Vietnam flashback.
Because we tried about 1,000 times different codes.
Oh,
it doesn't
God.
work. And then one of our friends was like, "Man, you're stupid. It's not a 0. It's an O."
Oh, because it
And
didn't
it
have
worked.
Yeah,
the
the strike.
Oh God.
And it worked.
But also,
Jeez, man.
also back then we didn't have internet. Like
That is true,
gotta
yeah,
look
you had
through
to get it
the,
from-
the
yeah.
books,
Struggle.
the magazines and stuff
not
like
even
that.
that. We'll go to an internet club and we'll be like,
Yeah.
we didn't have a lot of money. It's like, oh, I just need like half an hour to find the code to get the game
The guys would
installed.
look as
Wow.
like these poor bastards.
People have it easy nowadays.
It feels like
No, no.
it's very different because to them it's like going through a rebel base, hacking a thing
Legit,
to
yeah.
get your activation gaming code while we just went to the shop.
But it's not-
I went to the shop, but here's the thing. My favorite games, like obviously first one's already disclosed, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I mean 1 and 2. I mean they're both like deep in my heart.
yeah.
When the second one came out, like the resolution is, when you look at it now, it's still decent.
Yeah.
And like when I saw it, I was like, dear God, it's beautiful. You can actually see, like, I remember how they fired the bolts, and the light would go across the floor as well. And I thought that was like the sickest thing in the planet. And when
Bear
they
in mind, RTX off.
Yeah.
they let you play, they even let you play as Jedi and like Grievous and
Oh.
stuff, and that just made me fanboy to like
Is
beyond.
this the new EA one?
No,
Oh.
this is like the second one. The original one was
Oh,
released
right.
2005, and I was so those two have to be on the list, absolutely. And then there's Jack 3, because Jack 3 is the one that I actually started
Yeah.
with. I didn't start with the first one.
See-
I then went back to the second
Yeah.
and the first. Didn't like the first one too much.
My
but
uncle told me off for going from 3, because basically the order that I completed them in was actually 2, 3, 1, because I lost the first one.
Oh man.
And then yeah, he told me off because I didn't complete it in order because he appreciates story and lore as
Oh,
well.
right.
But
I-
like I do like the idea with Jack 2 as well because it's known for being infamously hard.
Yeah, Jack 2 was really hard. Jack 3 was amazing. I loved it. I love how your guns could have modules. You'd go around these parts of the map. Then there's 2 more. I know I'm going a bit over tangent here. God of War, first one. So I
Yes.
played that, and I used to be super scared of it. I used to look at my cousins play it because they had it like cracked on a CD or something. And I would see them. I was just like, I really want to play it, but I'm scared. And then after a while, I was just like Kratos screaming, like, "Oh, death to Zeus!" and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then the last one, and this is one that is quite an old game, goes way back to like the big arcade machines. Metal Slug.
Oh,
Metal Slug was like this pixelated. It still is
Yeah.
a pixel.
because that's the
Like shoot 'em
start.
up sort of thing, and they made like 7 or 8 games, and
Yeah.
my God, I really still want them to make some because they got bought by a company or something. By the way, if you guys are watching this, make more Metal Slug, please, for the love of
Metal
God.
Slug.
But I loved it. I loved it. It was like I was terrible at it. I would die basically every 20 seconds because it was a bullet hell sort of game,
Yeah.
and I just couldn't make it.
It's kind of similar to Dungeons and Dragons or
Yeah.
Contra.
But that game was so much fun. I could die over and over again and play it with a friend because you could play 2-player. I would just love it. I couldn't stop it. And now that we moved that, let's move into the next part. First PC experience. And I'm
Oh.
going to just, before I go for you guys, mine is quite short. Anyone here ever heard of a game called Priston Tale? It was an old MMORPG that
Wow.
still exists, but for you to play it, you need to basically give your soul to the devil. It's so hard to play it nowadays. I gave it a try like a year ago because I missed it so much. And you would be like, it was the classic MMORPG. You'd have 2 tribes. Each tribe has 4 characters. Each character is like a class. So you have the warrior, the archer, the mage, and whatnot. They had this guy called the Pike, which used spears and scythes, and that was me. It was like just point and click action. I remember like traveling through the world, imagining like what's gonna be the next step, like starting in the beginner city, being given a quest, going from killing like the little small, I still remember the name of the first monster that you killed. It's the Hoppy, which looked like a green dildo unicorn. There's no better way to explain it. I'll show you guys a picture of it. In fact, I'll put a picture on screen right now of what a Hoppy looked like. You had the female one, which was stronger and which was pink, and then you had the
Male.
the male one, which is the green level 1 little shit. And it was like, I remember facing them, and then I remember facing their king, which is like a really high level monster, and that you had to, it was so cool. And adventuring through these different parts. So you first started with the forest, then you went to the haunted forest where you could fight like ghouls, zombies, spirits, ghosts. Then you'd go to like the fire kingdom, the desert, where you'd fight these big ass monsters that was just so scary.
Man, just exploring.
Just
stuff.
exploring it and like always wondering what is the next part of the world going to be like. That was my first experience in an online world as well. And this happened when I was about 9, because it was 1 year before I left Brazil. Yeah, I was about 9, and it was so much fun. I couldn't have enough of it because I was like, I get new armor, my character changes,
Oh,
I get
yeah.
new weapons, I get new abilities,
It's
and I
always
would
fun
go
when
through
you
all
get new
these
loot.
I
worlds.
think games have kind of lost that nowadays.
A
haven't
lot of
they?
them have, yeah.
What's-
We're going to go into that in a bit. We're going to talk a little bit about modern games, and then we're going to go into modern tech for games. So we're gonna reserve what you have to say for that, Costa, because I think what you have to say is gonna be very valuable for that. But yeah, that was my first PC experience, and I remember that I had like my mom had a work laptop. It it was like Windows XP or something like that. My God, do you want to know how long it would take me to get inside like the loading screen and to get inside the game itself? It would be like an hour worth of time.
I still have an XP machine at home.
Oh my God.
Is it the CES box?
No.
It's like an ancient.
The CES box has a Windows 7 now, fresh copy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking
look at
about
that.
at home, like
At home.
Bulgaria.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it still
okay.
runs XP.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You wouldn't run anything else, though.
No, I did some upgrades on it a couple months ago.
Man, I ran Windows 7 on it. You wanted to die. It's the first machine I ever ran Windows 7 on, and I was like, Windows 7 is good. Now that they've discontinued, man,
Yeah.
that's old. But
Yeah, but like back in Windows XP, it would take me like an hour to log in because I had to launch the game, connect to the servers, what took forever, and then like my mom was always like, "You have about 2 hours to play," because my mom was just like, "I don't want you getting addicted. I want you to be happy, but I don't want you getting addicted." Didn't work, Mom. Didn't work. 20 years down the line, and I'm playing games like a madman. So, anyway, but but she would be like, "You got 2 hours." And then one of those hours would just
She
be
was
spent on
generous.
logging in.
She was generous.
Yeah, very obviously. My mom was very kind when it came to that. She never like, she always was like, you should play less and you need to focus and stuff. But she was always very kind and she always like helped me, let me play my games and all of that. But she was like, if you play games, you need to do a sport. That was the rule. That was the rule. I have to have good grades to play. It was like currency. My grades were money, and I spent them on hours to play.
Good in your mom, man.
She was.
succeeded with
See,
that.
Mom, we love you. Anyway, and yeah, CK, first PC experience.
Okay, so back to going over to my friend's house. Basically, every time I go to my friend's house, it's because my dad would be asked to help redo the kitchen. And while he redid the kitchen, the guys there had a son who I like play around with, play games with as well. And sometimes he would go, so he wouldn't have a gaming laptop or a PC or anything. So the experience that we had would be going to the internet cafe, and we would play RuneScape.
Oh,
Like classic RuneScape. This is where I did not know a single thing about it. I was so lost playing it, but I still enjoyed playing it. And
Hold
it
on,
was
what's the idea? Because I haven't played.
so RuneScape is similar to the game. Was it Pristine?
RuneScape is
It's-
like an old MMORPG.
yeah, it's an old MMORPG.
It's really, really
where
old.
you
It
can-
still runs though.
Yeah, it still runs. You can play it on smartphones.
It's
as well
like
now.
really old, and it's your average MMORPG.
Yeah.
You have a weapon, you can gather resources, you can sell them, blah blah
Grind.
blah. It's kind of like, have you guys ever heard of Tibia? Tibia is another really old MMORPG,
one of
but
that-
it was more
It's kind
pixelated
of like
and stuff,
a more wide. I would say more wider version
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Warcraft as well.
yeah,
Because
I
there's
would
like
say
loads
so.
more things to do as well. So there's an actual economy as well going on.
Yeah,
within the thing.
legit. Like the
Like,
games,
they have
these
a,
games' infrastructures were so
yeah.
complex. As a child, I didn't understand any of it. Like I would sell an
Yeah.
item, and then a friend of mine would tell me like, "Oh, dude, you sold that so cheap. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like you should have sold that."
There's a-
expensive."
like-
Because there's so many things that you
Yeah,
like,
it was just
That-
overwhelming going from like a console alone to like this
To the PC.
massive world.
Yeah, because like I remember at one point, like all I knew was that you have to level up and to get stronger. And what I did was, instead of like leveling up your combat or your strength like a normal person would do, I'd be outside the Grand Exchange where you would sell and buy items, and I would just cut trees to gain woodcutting XP and use the tinderbox just to create massive campfires. So if you were going to the Grand Exchange and you saw a huge amount of campfires all over the place, that was me. And then with all the spare wood I had, I just sell them at the Grand Exchange and made like
So you were a merchant.
basically
I was a mercenary, and you were a
Yeah.
merchant. This guy was making bank.
Yeah, I realized that. I think I realized from very early on that you need money for the good stuff. For the mithril.
Are you Jewish by any chance?
For the mithril.
choosing merchandise rather than war.
Yeah, but
Good.
for the mithril, once you get all the good stuff, you're practically unkillable. So you probably get all the good stuff from an early level, and then you'll be fine for the next, I don't know how long ever you
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah. And let's move on to, we have Pristine Tale, RuneScape. We have Pristine Tale Mercenary. We have the Merchant Experts and RuneScape. let's go over to you guys. What did you guys do?
Our first experience, man. we can each other speak for the other person. Before we had the console with Super Mario, before we had our own PC, we used to go to our cousin's house, and we used to play Neighbors from Hell. That is a good. I wish they made it for VR. That would be so a good game for VR.
That would be amazing.
But anyway, along with the OG GTA, that's pretty much the first games we played. We played a little bit of Need for Speed, like the old before Underground. But yeah, these
this was all on PC.
Yeah.
And what is your first like PC online experience?
PC Online.
Think about it.
Whoa.
Were you guys more of like the
FIFA?
FIFA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So competitive.
I remember hearing the stories about
used
this.
to kick my butt the whole time.
And then you went to
Kick
California.
my ass
Oh,
in
wait.
FIFA.
Then you went to America, and then you got
I'm
better.
better. I'm
No,
still better.
you-
Oh, something like that.
I'm better
Uni.
computer.
Yeah, you went
He's
to uni.
better. Are you better than me at Xbox and FIFA?
On the Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But after my first year of uni, that I got my ass raped every single day by my housemate. Like, he used to he was like, do you want to play some FIFA? And I'm like, yeah.
Sure.
And I knew what was gonna happen.
But you
kick
just play it anyway.
Yeah, and I played because I was like, I need to get experience.
I'm
I
gonna
need to
kick
get
his
good.
ass. One day I'm gonna kick your ass.
and it started off where he was much better than me, and then at the end of the year, he was like, we were kind of comparable. And then Costa came to help me move out. He was like, "Damn, you're good." I'm like, "Yeah, I've been practicing."
For me, the multiplayer games actually I started experiencing that in a club called the Matrix
Oh.
back in Sofia.
Oh, that's
there
true.
was actually a lot.
Wait, hold on. I don't know about this.
Neither do I.
This is
Yeah.
like exclusive intel. If you are, if you're just a regular customer of Matrix VR, listen to this carefully because I think this is gonna be good.
It's this. I mean, in the what year was it? 2005-ish. They were big, like clubs like the Matrix, and they would generally be underground. Like they would go into some basement, and there'll be like a lot of machines, and you
always a
have this
basement.
card that
Yeah.
you clock in, and then every
No mercy.
minute-
You clock in, your time finishes. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no finish the game. It's like out. The computer shuts off. You're like,
Oh, I used to.
Yeah.
I was
do
so
that.
close to finishing the game, man.
I used to do that in high school. There was like this arcade. It was a PC arcade.
sorry.
No worries. There was a PC arcade that I would go into, and you had to like create an account and we'd log in and we would play stuff like Left 4 Dead 2 and stuff like that. Because I didn't have a PC until I was like 17, 16, something like
Yeah.
that. Because until then, I went from PlayStation 1, 2 to 3, and we're just gonna let you guys finish on this to move on to the next topic.
I was going to say Dota was
Oh,
huge.
Dota.
Everyone's playing
Oh,
Dota.
Huge
everyone,
esports.
even nowadays.
Yeah, Dota 2 and
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
what's it? Auto chess.
Yeah, auto chess. Yeah.
Well, I was always so bad at it because like I couldn't get it installed in the computer at home, and quite frankly, everyone in my class was playing it so much. I was like, it was difficult times for me. I was
Yeah,
trying to
that
learn.
was how I got used to it as well
Yeah.
back in Prison Tale. I heard from a friend. He was like, "Oh, you should play this." And then when I started
Yeah.
playing, fucking like a month in or something, they were just like, they showed me around. They showed me around the areas, and then I came in and I was just like, they were like level 30 something. I came in level 60. Like, which one of you losers needs my help today? Started like, okay, what do I do?
We never really played like games like Dota, Warcraft, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know why. We never got started. Everyone else was playing them, and in the meantime, we were playing like first-person shooters, like
Counter-Strike 1.6.
That's what.
Did you guys get to play that?
Counter-Strike was massive.
It was a bomb. CS. Like I think here's the thing. Yeah, let's go on a little tangent and talk about Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we're gonna keep it short because otherwise we're gonna be here literally all day. Counter-Strike, yeah?
Yeah.
Just tell me which one is your favorite, 1.6, Source, or Go?
Oh, dude, 1.6 is what that at the time. Like, obviously, the other ones weren't out, but 1.6 is like, that's what everyone would go to the internet club to play to get, like in a group, you'd skip class, you'd go play Counter-Strike. That's what it was. I went to
And
the
Dota.
US years later, and I was like, oh, do you guys remember Counter-Strike? They're like, what? They pulled a blank, and I'm like, well,
What?
Counter-Strike, man. And they're like, what is that? And I explained it. They're like, oh, you mean like Call of Duty? I'm like,
No,
that.
dude.
So some countries had it
Yeah.
big, and some didn't.
No,
So-
yeah, I think Counter-Strike was more. I think
It's a European
Counter-Strike
Yeah.
for me, I started playing it when my eldest cousin got a PC and he would play it, and I'll be like, sometimes I'd literally walk to his house, and it was fucking far, man. It was like an hour walking or some shit. I would walk over to his house and I'd be playing. This was like I was 12 or something, and he would be playing. I'd be like learning the weapons, and I'm just like, wow, fucking hell, this game looks so good. And then Source came out. Now around when Source came out, that's when I had my first ever computer, and it was an Acer. It wasn't a laptop. It was a desktop, and it was like a really old computer. Could barely run it, and I used to play Counter-Strike Source out the ass, my dude. My friends and I, there were like a group of 6 of us at the time, all friends from high school. We found a server, CS Assault, which was like a map where you have to rescue the hostages in a warehouse. We found that server. It wasn't ours, but it was as good as ours, because every single time there would be like 8 people in there. We would just come in at 6, like all of us going to the same team, and then it'd be like, if we win 5 rounds in a row, you guys leave the server. And then we're like, all right, we'll do it. Split ourselves
Wow.
into teams. We'd go in, dude. I was so good at that game. You don't understand. Like, I was no scoping people left, right, and center. And then I found out what bunny hopping was. You guys know what that mechanic is in CS? It's something like, it's really try hard. You have to be next level sweaty to know how to bunny hop. You need to like pull out the knife, and you need to like jump and crouch and like strafe in the air. It was so fucking dumb.
I've
Completely
seen that,
useless, but made you look like an absolute beast.
I've seen that, yeah.
I could do that a little bit, and then like from CS Source, I found out so many like different game modes. They weren't official game modes. They were just like fan made things like CS:GO surfing. And all that kind of crap, and I just went into that, and I played that for ages, my man. Like CS:GO, not CS:GO, CS, Zombie Escape, stuff like that. I used to do that all the time. CK, CS, Counter-Strike.
I think, it's really bad to say this, but I think my first proper like CS:GO experience was like a month ago.
What, did you CS:GO or
Yeah,
just Counter-Strike
CS:GO.
in general?
Well, just a whole CS thing. Basically what was going on is I was on Discord with my friends playing Rainbow Six, just some casuals, and then all of a sudden someone was just like, so I heard we want to play CS:GO, and then everyone just hopped off. Luckily I had it installed, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna join you guys, let's play. Played it, and I did not understand a thing going on. It was like I just went
It's
into
a
the
very try-hard
apocalypse.
game. It's not a very like welcome to casuals sort of game nowadays. I don't play it anymore. I stopped playing it years ago, like 4 years ago.
I don't think I'm ever gonna play it again, to be honest.
Yeah, I used
It's
to
w-
play it, and I used to play like the ranked competitive in CS:GO.
Oh,
I hated it. Like playing competitive games in CS:GO was like, it was basically asking a bunch of people, roast me if I ever do anything wrong.
I hear that.
And it was all Russian, like rush B, bliet, rush B, like the worst mic. The guy was sitting in the back, like B, bliet, B, forget it was terrible.
Slavs are
Slavic culture,
King
man.
I think some of them have moved on to Rainbow Six as well.
But that's a little Counter-Strike tangent off. Where were we? We were on about our first multiplayer experiences, and now we're gonna talk about.
Wait, do you guys, am I correct in recalling a game called Alien vs Predator?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alien vs Predator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we played as well.
Oh, it was like a film franchise, a game
Yeah.
franchise,
There
a
was a
book
Colonial
franchise.
Marines,
It was
yeah.
a
everything.
massive thing.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Did you know that Alien, like Dell and Acer, called their like gaming
I
laptops
could
slash desktops like Alienware and Predator because of that?
I could only guess.
Could you though? I'm just
Well,
saying.
Kind of, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it is pretty self-explanatory. But let's move on to our next segment, which is the bulk of the segment, because we're already like half an hour into this. But it's okay.
We're having a good time.
We can have like an hour-long episodes. You can tell me what to do. It's my fucking podcast. Anyway, we're gonna move on to something that's why like you guys are the best people to talk about this. We're gonna be talking about gaming technology and whether or not there's room for everything or something is going to be overwhelming. Now, I'm not talking like consoles. I am talking consoles, PC, VR, and retro. So, what do you guys think about retro gaming? And when I mention retro gaming, I'm really talking about games that are really old and have been either refurbished or like
Okay, well,
are
hold on. You need
available
to
for
really
emulators.
clarify when you say retro.
Yeah,
You're talking about 8-bit.
yeah,
2000
I'm talking that. I'm talking
arcade
that.
cabinets.
Legit. I'm talking
Cool.
the big ass arcade machines that some people still buy to collect them. What do you guys feel like the target audience for that type of gaming nowadays in 2020? What do you think that would be? Obviously, I'm thinking collectors, like people that collect them. It's nostalgia. It's full on nostalgia.
I think that, I mean, there are places opening up, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
there
we were
is
just
market
talking
for
about
it. Yeah, there's a new place in Coaster Factory that just opened.
If we give them a shout out, guys, please reach out to me on social media.
And
Give us a little
Q64.
shout out. No, but there's definitely that. I think the retro gaming aspect of nowadays, it's always going to be nostalgia, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's a great thing. I'm really considering going into that arcade where you can have a few drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we should go there as a team.
I think games like Pac-Man will always be popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think like nostalgia at some point it dies out because people that had nostalgia they just die, you know.
Yeah.
At some point, there are people now that collect cars from the 30s. Well, they
Oh,
never
yeah.
were around them, but
They
they
still
did.
did.
They they're like, wow, that's cool. You know, they had good cars. I don't know. if
But
they
it's
did.
just appreciating it because it
Yeah.
looks nice.
Yeah.
And, maybe they're like, people are saying, if I could decide which decade to be born, I'll go into the 80s. And, there's people that are saying, oh, nowadays with everything being so fast paced, I would like to go back to the 30s. Not realizing anything
Yeah.
about the area, but
Yeah.
like, oh, the cars look good.
Yeah, the cars look good.
Yeah.
I think you
Yeah.
think that could be applied to gaming as well. Then you think it's a
Uh,
sense of like exclusive almost.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
with popular games like that still are valuable and is still enjoyable to play. Yeah, definitely. I think so.
CK.
So the thing with retro games is I've always been fascinated with them, even like still now. Like when I heard about the arcade that was opening up near us in Digbeth, I was fascinated to go straight
Again,
away.
arcade. We're giving you a free
Yeah.
shout out. Please reach out to me
Like,
on social media.
Like I feel like even as a gamer, like you can be one of those guys that are like, I'm only about the new games, the best graphics and stuff, but you can never deny the fact that you wouldn't get what you have now if it wasn't for the retro games.
Legit.
You wouldn't get Mirror's Edge or something like
Sekiro.
that without Mario.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get
You wouldn't get Doom Eternal without the
you wouldn't
first Doom.
you wouldn't get Call of Duty without Doom, where they
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
introduce FPS games. Like,
Legit. Doom. I don't
all
think
th-
anyone realizes
all-
how important Doom really
like,
is in gaming
all
culture.
categories of games always relate back to the originals.
Originals.
Like, you can never deny that.
Yeah, it's evolution, you know.
And now, next part of gaming, guys. I'm not gonna go into the console versus PC war. I'm going to go into
PC
the console
monsters.
versus PC social aspects. And here's what I mean by this, okay? So, I know a lot of people are like, within the consoles themselves, they argue like Xbox is better, PlayStation is better. I am a PS4 owner. I had PS4 1, 2, 3, and now the fourth one. But I really have never cared about like trying to make it look better than the Xbox. Can I just tell you the full reason as to why I have a PS4?
Go on.
Bloodborne.
A
A PS4 exclusive
Yes.
made by From Software, developers of Dark Souls, which I love their
yeah.
games. They're like these hack and slash horror games.
You
Fucking
say
love
hack
them.
and slash like
Kind
you're
of.
the one getting hack and slash.
Oh yeah, you're the one getting hacked and slashed.
Yeah.
It's like the Dark Souls thematic has always been known for being super hard and stuff. But that game released in 2016. I bought a PS4 secondhand and the game for like less than £100, 2018. So
That is a man that knows what they're going for. You like, I want that, and you're going after it.
yeah, I love that. And I got that, and because I got the PS4, I look back at all these like aspects of it. Like when you're gaming on a PC, you're sat there and you have your awesome setup, but like nothing beats like, oh, I'm tired. I'm gonna lean all the way back on my bed, have the screen on, have
Oh,
the
yeah.
controller in my hand, and you're just leaning back.
But now you can,
play a
can't you?
game. Oh, you can, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was playing,
Even with the PC, what I mean.
yeah, even PC, you can just plug in a controller and all that.
Yeah.
That's it.
And what was I gonna say again? Yeah, the social aspect of it is that, for example, my girlfriend's not a gamer. She doesn't play PC games or anything like that. But when it comes to the PS4, her and I play Minecraft. We have our own little world.
Aw.
Minecraft, couple goals. Minecraft girlfriend. Will they be my Minecraft
Yeah.
girlfriend? Anyway, no, but her and I play Minecraft on the PS4, and we play Crash Racing, the remake. I play the original one all the way back, but you know, there's the remake. Looks great, looks beautiful, plays beautiful. They added so many new things. When I saw that it was gonna come out last year, I nearly cried. It was such a good moment. But yeah, went into that. And then there's the social aspect. Like, we're just sitting next to each other with a controller playing that. And it's something that, for example, my flatmates, every now and then, will have a little Mortal Kombat championship in the kitchen. We'll just go there. Everyone's fucking around, you know, like having a
Mortal
drink,
Kombat,
doing that.
wow.
And and I was going to say that for me, the PC is a more personal experience. It's the experience that when I really like a game, that's where I want it on. I want it for example, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I believe it's a masterpiece. It's such a good game. It developed so much. Like, you know, the thing that you said earlier about I wish games like still had that delivery of there's always more to find out, and like you don't have to pay for it and stuff.
Yeah.
Sekiro, along with Nier Automata, deliver that to me so well, and I've got them on PC. I had the option of buying them on console, but I'm like, PC is just more personal. I'm sat there, and it's just me and my computer. There's no one else. It's me and the game. It's me and me relaxing. Focus on the story that is so far away from reality, putting me in this fantasy world where I'm just sitting there like, my God. What is the next step? Where am I gonna go next? Who am I gonna face? And like, especially with Sekiro, because you're this tiny guy put up against like mythical dragons and guys that are massive. Like, you don't understand. It's so cool. But I think that's for me the difference between console and PC right now would be, I think consoles appeal, well, besides the exclusive, obviously. Like, if you have a game that you really like and it's an exclusive, then you have to go for that platform. You don't have a chance. You don't have a chance.
Yeah.
But I think the difference between that will be something along the lines of, for me, PC is more personal. It's something where you can really experience the game, and it's just you and the game, and you can perform it at your own will. Like, you can go for top specs, or you can go for lower specs. It's just up to you. It's more customizable, and like, I think that appeals to every person individually. Whereas the consoles, they target like more social events, so to speak. You know, and let's hear your opinions on this, lads. What are you guys saying?
I think I see what you're saying. I think this boundaries is getting more smeared now. I think in a way, because you're referring to social where people are physically in the same space, whereas I think nowadays it can be as much fun and social playing on your computer rather than
online.
Just
absolutely,
online.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, as long as you have the friends that you've found personally. For example, I wouldn't make much difference if I'm playing on a console with you guys or if I'm playing from home with you again. That wouldn't make a difference for me. So
they have different appeals, though. You get what I mean? There's the appeal of being physically there, and then there's the appeal for playing on your own comfort. I play loads of games online. Like, currently, I've been really into Apex Legends. Just because I love the Titanfall series, love them so much, and I'm sad that they delayed by Titanfall 3 because of Apex, but that's okay. But I play lots of Apex, and I play online, and I'm like, it's a competitive game, so obviously the fun of it is a bit more, we're more focused on not getting bad teammates, which sometimes you just do. But it's still a lot of fun. Playing online I'm not saying that like, the social aspect is all about, PC playing online is trash. I'm just saying that people being together in the same space, like everyone with just a console, a few controllers going at it, it just seems a bit more appealing for the social event.
The thing is, you are comparing something that you are playing with. Okay, well, there needs to be a distinction where you playing with friends that you've likely found while playing online, and in the other case, you are likely to have the friends be in the same location. We are, say in Birmingham, and so I think this is where you see that distinction. When you're saying you play a lot of games online, if you can get these same people that would play physically with you on a console, if you have them, close friends like that, play with you online, that it wouldn't really make a difference that much.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, because like obviously me and my brothers, we'd always be around the console playing together, couch gaming, so simply all playing together at home. But obviously I'm in uni, my brother's in uni, and my other brother's at home.
So you guys go online.
So we go online and we play games together.
It's pretty much the same,
Yeah,
right?
it's pretty much the same, like, because obviously we can still talk, we still make jokes the same way as before. It's just that we're not physically there.
Yeah, but I think like there's I know that like the social of it is not necessarily being right next to each other. You can definitely be social with someone that's nowhere around you. I'm just saying that, like, I personally think that, for example, if we're having some sort of like guys meetup, I would much rather play Smash, everyone in the same room laughing and pointing at each other like a bunch of idiots,
100%,
than like
100%.
everyone playing on their different switches. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the aspect that consoles just rip from PCs, because PCs are something more personal, in my opinion. Like, you'll have your rig at home, and it's not like if you have your rig at home and your friend has your rig at home, why would you be like, you can have a LAN party and bring your rigs there, but it's easier for you to just play online. And there's still a lot of enjoyment from playing with your friends online,
unless
regardless.
you play the old school way with the keyboard, where each player.
Yeah, but what games can you play like that? Only like small games,
like flash games.
Yeah, like
can
stuff like Metal Slug, you can play like that.
Can you play?
Actually,
like,
Metal Slug would be very hard because of the mouse.
I did it with one of my friends. Well, my best friend, actually, him and I were playing back on his laptop. He had a Acer Nitro, so it was like a 15-inch model with the keyboard super tiny, and we had to like both cram our hands in there on this tiny laptop screen. When I saw him, not this Christmas, the Christmas before in 2018, and we were just like playing array of that. It's funny, it's funny to have the person next to you and you see the reaction and all that. I think that social aspect is something that consoles are kind of like more. It's not like they're kicking out everyone else.
No, definitely. I feel the same as you. A console is like a KFC party bucket.
Yeah, exactly.
PC is like
something
something you don't share. You don't.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like I always remember when I'm coming back from school and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get on my PC. Forget the PCs in school. This is my PC.
Exactly.
And you have that feeling. I'm at home. And
your PC is like a very custom. Like, I was gonna just, sorry to cut you off there, Alex, but I was gonna say something real quick. Your PC is kind of like, this is gonna sound so cringe. It's kind of like a reflection of what you do. Who you are, because what you have on it, be it like software or hardware, it reflects upon your hobbies and your work, so to speak. Like, if people buy a MacBook or something, it's because they want to be more, office workers, and that reflects them. Whereas, for example, you guys saw my new machine. It's made for me to have fun, be professional, obviously do my work and get that done, but for me to have fun at the top, because I don't need to, like, I'm in uni right now. I could easily just use one of the computers around here if I wanted to just do work, but that's like the station that when I come back to, I turn it on and I'm just like, put the earphones or just like turn up the speakers, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna it's gonna be me time. It's exactly. Me and that machine.
I think I would have to agree and disagree with you. Like, I do understand the point of that it's your machine. Like it makes sense, because obviously it's that kind of like bond if you build it or you've made the effort to get it for you. But then at the same time, it's your choice to share it, because
exactly.
I think to counteract the whole couch gaming thing, for Christmas, in fact, we spend our Christmas as a big family at my cousin's house, and my cousin went out of his way to bring his rig downstairs and hooked it up to a bigger TV, and it'd be funny because we all brought our Switches as well, because we was expecting to play Super Smash Brothers throughout most of the night. But he also had I can't remember it, but it was kind of like a party game for PC, and what we had done to like let everyone play on it, we had like 8 players or 6 players, and it would basically be, I think it was 2 people using Nintendo Switch controllers, another 2 people using Xbox controllers, and another 2 people using PS4 controllers, and we were still all in the same room doing couch gaming style stuff.
Yeah, that's but that's what I mean. Like, that's when you're all still in the same rule. You guys have a business where you have PCs they're not consoles, but like when customers come in and we work there, I've seen bookings where people were like children all over again. Like they're sitting on the sofa watching their friend in a headset do silly things, and they're just having so much fun with it. And that's where I'm going to go next. Let's move on to the virtual reality, okay? Now, virtual reality is obviously a massive step, and not just gaming, a lot of things. It has helped the industry, like architectural industry, a lot, all of that sort of stuff. But here in the Underground Arcade, we're obviously focusing on gaming-related things. Now, you guys are actually not the first, the second exposure to VR that I had, but that was the first proper one. The first one where, like, I remember when I came for the job interview with you guys, I told Abby, I was just like, I'm gonna go at 5 and I should be done latest at like 5:30. I came out of the arcade at 7 p.m. It took me 2 hours. These guys asked me a few questions. It's like, all right, we're gonna test you in VR, and then we all hopped into Arizona with Sharn. By the way, shout out to Sharn if you're listening. You're a great guy, really funny boy.
Beat Saber God.
Yeah, shout out to actually Beat Saber God. Shout out to all the Matrix VR members if you guys are watching.
Yeah.
DeAndre, Sal, Eddie, DeAndre
Ben.
again. What? Ben, my boy.
I'll be
Ben's-
expecting you at work, boys
With
and girls.
we love you, boys and girls. And but yeah, going back to it, and that was so much fun. That was like the first time I ever done anything like that. I came
You're
back.
good. You're good as well.
Like Abby, I came back to Abby that night. She was like, "Why were you taking so long?" I was like, "It was so cool."
See, I think our interviews were quite different because I never got to play with Alex and Costa.
Because I'm their
Instead,
favorite.
I got a hazing of being pushed to Expert Plus on Beat Saber instead. Yeah, because they came in halfway. I think you guys came in halfway while I was doing Belko Experiment or playing Beat Saber. And I started off on normal because I'm not a pussy to do easy straight away.
Yeah, I never
And
did
then
easy either.
I think I heard the door open, so I was like, okay, they must be here now. And then I think Sean took it upon himself to say, okay, let's take it up a notch and go hard. I was like, alright, cool. Kept doing it, kept going, and then as soon as I got off trying to do Expert Plus, I saw all three of them just there watching me, and I was really confused on what was going on. And then I remember, I think it was Costa saying that I could be one of the people to beat Sean in
wow.
Beat Saber.
yeah.
Still
Damn.
He
in
wasn't
the
that good
future.
then.
Yeah.
Sean hadn't taken it too hard.
Yeah. Sean took like some Super Saiyan training straight afterwards.
I mean,
became
if
the
you follow
BCH.
what kind of stuff he's sending into the groups, like you
Yeah.
see,
He
that
is
generally.
insane. Nah, he is super good at it, and he's pretty good.
Sean,
Like,
when are you
he's
doing
insane.
Shrek, man?
When are you doing Shrek? Yeah,
It's
what
funny.
up?
It's funny actually because yesterday I was actually playing Rainbow Six Siege with Sean as well, and to go on the social thing we was talking about before about making friends as well, I decided to bring in a friend of mine from college because just to make it more fun. Obviously, it's more fun with more people you know. And then in the span of like 2 to 3 hours, it ended up being me, Sean, and my friend to a full team, and this even included one person I did not know, and Sean not knowing the rest of everyone, and everyone managed to get along really well. Like, it was insane. It was very funny. I brought back some old school memes with my friends as well because they would
That's
dick me
sick.
about and I'd dick them back. And like,
And I think like this, I just want to say,
Yeah.
when someone brings a friend and then another person brings a close friend, like, you know,
it becomes a party. It
Yeah,
becomes a
it
LAN
becomes
party.
a party.
Yeah.
It
It
becomes
goes
like
from,
a
like-
trust where, you
Yeah.
know, if I know that, even if I don't know Arthur, say if I'm good friends with CK, I'm gonna think that Arthur is a cool person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so,
you're
yeah,
friends
exactly.
with that person.
Yeah.
You just kind of socialize it kind of like that, and that's what I was like. Places in VR, because now I think a lot of people consider obviously PC gaming being the most elite because it's the one where you can push your system further and further beyond.
Yeah.
And VR requires your PC to be strong or the machine in question to be a pretty
It's a big
hefty
push.
thing.
Not that much. Like,
Not
you know, I'm
nowadays, yeah.
surprised to how, the perception of people is that you need some kind of beast.
Yeah, but roll back time like 3 years, that was the case. You know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know, in 10 years, there's gonna be something in the bin that can run VR.
Yeah, probably. That's
No.
very true. Yeah. That's kind of true.
To
But
the
like,
cess
I'm gonna be shopping for a graphics card this week to get the CES box to work, and I'm gonna run the Valve Index. Like,
Anybody wants to sell a GTX 1080 to cost?
For anyone that doesn't know, the CES box is a PC that cost a fish out of the bin. Am I
Yeah.
correct?
that's correct. Yes, it is.
It's cess as in cesspool, as in degeneracy at its max.
As it was thrown away, and I just took it, and it turns out it's a first gen i7
Hey.
with 8 cores in it.
To be honest, props to you, because like if I have mad respect for people that are like, I built this literally out of trash, and I'm just I'm looking at it like kind of disgusting but
The
impressive.
thing is though, like every time I think of the CES box, you know, the movie Real Steel, the
Yeah.
robot boxing film. I always think of that weird junkyard monster that
Oh,
Costa
yeah.
has in his backyard. For some reason, I see like a wheel on it, and there's a bit of duct tape on the case somewhere.
There
to see-
actually was a lot of
See-
sellotape on it.
so like I can't help but see
Costa's a
the
loving man.
Frankenstein
I'm
machine that he's
He
I'm
gonna
loves
going
the
to
machine
finish
like he
it,
loves
and
his
I'm-
women.
I will.
He likes them broken. Such a terrible joke. Fuck me. But yeah, you guys are the living proof that there's like that VR, it can be literally for everyone. What do you guys think like makes VR more accessible for people that have never played it? Because you guys, we as
An
a
open
company,
mind.
we have a lot of first-time customers. And let's say like those customers are people that never really, well, most of them don't really game. We have a lot of them that, you know, are quite good gamers. In fact, like the Beat Saber Society, again, fucking pros, literally. But we're over here looking at, we're going to be looking at the, like, the aspect of, here's VR, you put a headset on, here's your controllers, and you can go, instead of being like, here's your PC, you press these buttons to move your character on the screen and such. What do you guys think is the appeal of VR for the people that don't really game much?
Well, the thing is, when I did my dissertation in uni, I did it on like VR and the film industry, and I was looking at whether or not people, you know, how it would develop and all that. But basically, my theory was that VR is supposed to be very intuitive and people will know where to look.
And immersive.
Yeah, exactly. But when I started the arcade, initially Costa and I thought, you know, it's going to be super easy because VR is supposed to be just like real life. And we thought, it's going to be easy, man. People are going to know what to do.
Yeah, that's not the case.
Turns out it's not the case, but I feel that
It
it's
really
just
is.
people overthinking it, overly overthinking it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then
No,
being
I
used to playing console or PC, you know, they're thinking, all right, I need to press something to grab that thing off the floor. No, you got to bend down and grab it off the floor. That's what you do. You just got to think that it's real life, man.
Yeah, we've
so-
had loads of customers
yeah.
that were just like, wow, this is
Yeah.
insane. Like, I
Yeah.
don't believe that I lived long
Yeah.
enough to witness this. Costa, what's
Yeah.
your take on it?
I think people have their imagination has been staggered and spoiled by these annoying Samsung phones that you put in your headset.
Oh yeah,
people,
the VR
wow.
headphones.
this is people.
If you ever go to Matrix VR and Costa's taking your booking, if he asks, "Have you done VR before?" and
Don't
you
say
say
your
it's on a
phone.
phone, you will get shot on the side. So don't say that at all.
no,
You probably get smacked if you say you.
You
use
will. He's
PSVR.
gonna be like,
No.
I'm not giving you any fucking
No.
time in my
no,
life."
jokes,
You-
jokes
you-
aside, like
you-
I
You phone
you would,
peasant.
you would get smacked if he asked you, have you tried VR, and you're like, yeah, I tried it on a phone, it's shit, and then he would be like, man. But the people that do come, props to them, because they're like, they want to try it again, even if they had a bad experience.
Yeah,
they want to come
yeah. I do
properly
give
try
props
it,
to
then
them.
that's good.
I feel bad for the people that have tried it first with
Yeah.
their phone and they're like, oh my god, this gave me a headache, or you know,
Oh,
people not
yeah.
feeling. This is what spoiled it. As much as it's given to the VR industry, and as much as it's brought people onto the platform, that's how many people as well it's pushed away from it. It's if I didn't like a Samsung Gear VR experience and I
Yeah.
thought this is crap, then you know, props to the people, as Alex said,
Yeah.
that would have had a bad experience and they would have wanted to give another try. And so many headsets, bad experiences, that I just want to say to people, this is not what VR is about,
Yeah.
and you should explore and you should give it a go, and because it's completely different. than
And
what you
people
see
also
in these.
thinking like, you know, the meme with the grandma that's like super scared, she's like walking back and falls onto something. That's not what VR is. It doesn't have to be horrifying. You could be relaxing, you could be doing a lot of different things.
It can be
Anything.
intense, it can be calming. That's
Yeah.
something that at Matrix, like, this sounds like it's such a fucking advertising thing
Yeah.
to say, but we really do push it. Like, because when I first came into VR, I was just like, it's so cool. Like I think everyone should have a go at it, even if people don't like playing games on consoles or PCs. Like tell me that no guy wants to do what fucking like what. I don't know, like what Blade and Sorcery offers you, where you're literally put in an arena and you're fighting sword and shield toe to toe with an opponent. You can stab them, you can block their attacks, you can deflect them. It's like it's insane, and it's something that people really should experience.
It's getting there.
To be
That's
fair,
most
the
important
evolution of Matrix VR, ever since we've been there, has actually gone quite far.
Yeah, especially because of VR, the VR
especially
industry in
with
general.
the things we're testing out, especially with the idea with the Discord server and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think what's really cool as well is that it's not like, I know it's a push thing because I've really enjoyed the game as well. Like even me and Janine love playing it. It's the fact that you can still play even if you're not in the headset, and you can still be immersed in that kind of way.
Yeah,
especially
that is true.
So basically the game Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, it's still really immersive. Like just the other day I was working in the arcade and I had some spare time, and Janine was at work, so I actually just put on an AirPod and put on the headset, and I was like, Janine, we're gonna defuse a bomb, are you ready? And then she was giving me help from
she was working.
yeah, she was
working as well.
she was working all the way in UOB, which is
Whoa.
like far away.
University of Birmingham.
Yep, and I was in the arcade. I'm sitting down and I'm talking on the phone saying, "This is the red wire. What color do I do?" And then we've
And then
actually
that brings
defused
us
it.
back to the
We've
online
actually
aspect.
completed level 2. So right now, next bit was the harder
But
stuff with the
this
Morse
is what
code.
essentially a bomb defusal is, right?
Yeah,
You
it's
are with a bomb
teamwork.
and there is someone
Yeah.
out there on the radio
Yeah, like
telling you
miles
what,
away. Because if
exactly.
I
Yeah.
die, you're not gonna hear me
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just over an hour now, so we're just gonna go into the closing segment of the whole first episode of Underground Media, which is I think that gaming technology, it can advance, but that doesn't mean that what's behind will never exist again. There's definitely companies that look to reinvest in old game titles and old systems, and they aim to make it either like retro or like exclusives or collectibles. And now with VR, a lot of people are unaware of it and how accessible it can be. Like a lot of customers, and when they go into Matrix VR and they ask me, how much does this cost and all that, I'm like, you don't want to get what the setup we have, because this is going to cost you a car,
Pretty penny.
almost a brand new
It's
car.
an,
And I
it's
just
an
like,
overkill, but we want to give people the best.
yeah, and then I
Yes.
look at them and I'm just like, there's alternatives. There are cheaper alternatives. There's one where you can just get a headset and you
The
don't even
Quest,
need a
yes.
computer, which is the Quest. And I tell them that, and they're like, I had no idea this is the case. I'm like, I'm so buying one. And I do believe they go on to buy some, because these are people that, have funds for it. It's not like,
During Christmas.
it's
there
not
was a
like you
couple
and I. We're
kids.
fucking students. So if we spend anything more than £15, we have to like check our bank account and check our future 2 months in advance.
And then
and
say
all of
please
that.
to everyone that we buy from.
Legit. But these are people with a more robust sort of financial like stability, and when they see this and they see, like, let's be honest, if you're earning, I don't know, 1,500 a month, and you see this headset that is something that's going to last for like 350, you're going to buy it, because what else do you have to spend it on? I mean, yeah, rent and all that, but like,
Yeah,
that's not going to
food,
take
living.
that's not going to take all that much.
There's another thing about VR though. You need space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't really do it if you're living in a
It
very small
is,
flat.
it is
True
not like Ready Player One. That's not how it goes.
Yeah, please don't get that misunderstanding.
that
So
treadmill is expensive.
for us to close off, I
It
would
doesn't
like
exist. It's not going to exist.
yeah, I don't think so.
It will screw up your brain.
It's like the people that say,
motion sickness level 3000.
have you seen you guys probably never heard of this, but there's an anime called Sword Art Online, all about like this thing called
Okay,
the
this-
nerve gear, which is a headset you put on. It connects to your brain's nerves or something,
Yeah, no,
and you literally teleport into a magic world.
It's not really
That's the
teleport.
Matrix, man.
It's more it's more
You
like
plug
a
it in.
coma
Yeah.
sense and being plugged in,
Yeah,
and obviously
but this is like casual. People are like
Yeah.
at home, they lay on their
To
bed,
be
they put the
fair-
headset on, and they're ready to go.
Is that real?
No, it's
No.
not real. It's a
But to be
fucking
fair-
anime.
to be fair-
Oh, yeah,
to be fair, the concept is funny because the idea that if you're in a nerve gear and they take the headset off of you, you die. It just
Yeah.
fries your nervous system and kills you. It's
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
a weird thing to overlook in
Yeah,
testing.
and it's funny because in the anime they go through like different versions of the nerd gear. So there's one where it's like a helmet. There's one with just
The
a pair of
atmosphere.
glasses that even if someone takes off, you're fine. But it's funny to see this because I'm just like, maybe someday we'll get there. I'm probably not going to be
I don't
alive
do
for that at all. But maybe someday humanity is going to get to the point where you can literally just like go into the world, fully go into the world without having to worry much about cables or that much. Like, but yeah.
Or you could plug yourself in and be the Pac-Man in the game, and your friend plays with you.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could do that kind of stuff. Who knows?
You can do that with Gorn, to be honest.
True. And to finish the whole first episode, let's go and ask the two of you, how do you think VR fits into the market? How do you think people that play games, I'm saying people that play games because I hate saying gamers. How do you think that gamers themselves or like the general public should approach VR? Because you guys have a business and loads of people are returning customers, loads of people are first-time customers. And then we have people like Sharn who are VR enthusiasts that have the latest headsets, the latest tech, and they play at home. Do you guys think that VR is just another gaming style, such as a console or a PC? Or do you think that there's more to it than it's just a different gaming style?
Well, it's going to be a little bit of a longer answer. I'm sorry for that.
That's fine.
But
That's a great question.
It's something. Yeah, it's a very good question. But there's something that stayed with me for a very long while. There's this customer we had, and he told me, well, he has a headset at home, and he was like, to me, VR, this is when I want to be at my limit. This is when I want it to be pure. And he's like, but not when I want to be relaxed. Well, he said, when I want to relax, when I want to just chill out, don't care about much, that's when I plug my PlayStation or my Xbox. But when I'm in VR, I can, all my senses, I look around, I'm almost like I'm right there. So I think I don't think that it's gonna push away, the console gaming or the normal PC gaming.
I think it's just opened up the path to a different type of game.
But I also think that it's gonna develop even more, of course, like with haptic stuff. So I don't think it will push out the others, but there's still so much that you can develop. So it's not a sure answer right now.
It's to me, it's a different category because
it's like a different path. Yeah.
To be honest, I no longer play that. Like it's just with my busy daily. It's difficult to play games nowadays for me, unfortunately. But I find myself being more likely to explore and try to want to play VR games than any other game. And to me, it's a obviously I'm a VR arcade owner, but
bias, man.
but what I'm saying is it's a different category of play. It's a different feel. It's just immersive.
It can be a sport,
gameplay.
It's growing into
wasn't it an esport with the Smashbox thing?
No, I'm saying
it's gonna grow into.
There's gonna be VR Olympics.
Sure.
I'm thinking it's going to be a category of its own.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna go into something like
Pablo.
video games have become esport. Like just to take a moment to think about this. When I was a kid, video games were like a loser thing. You never do it. And nowadays, although some people say that, my guy, esports is a thing.
Yeah.
Like people win millions. Esports has more views.
Won a couple million from playing Fortnite.
Legit. That's too much. That goes back into a topic that I say football players are paid too much. But anyway, we've reached the point where like esports is a thing. Yeah. Like video games are professional. Like you have teams, you have production crews about it. Like my uni work is mostly, as I'm so passionate about the possibilities of gaming, my uni work very much revolves around the idea of esports is not just a bunch of nerds playing video games because they're good. There's a whole industry about it. There's people that invest in it. There's people that manage teams. People that handle a lot of stuff.
But I want you to
this is like an industry that in a world where jobs are running out and you struggle to get what you want, this is an industry that provides people with opportunities that don't need to be related to just exclusively gaming.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's so funny though that in this industry, whereas like sports, you can be like in trouble for doing drugs or steroids. Whereas in the esports society,
you get in trouble for hacking.
You get in trouble for DDoSing the whole server.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, it's been a absolute pleasure. I think we can all reach the point that virtual reality, as well as consoles, retro gaming, and all of that, they're all their separate paths. And I think, like what you said about the customer, I think they're all very separate things. Like if I were to have my own headset. I think that I would just go into it when I want to play stuff like Beat Saber, when I want to play Blade and Sorcery, and be at my limit, like push myself to the
You
point
should
where
get the
I'm
Rift S.
I really want to, but I want to be at that
thought
point
you
where I'm
were
just
gonna get
like
it, Costa.
right now, right now for the next hour or two, I'm pushing myself to the next level. Whereas PC, I'm like, I want to sit down either to enjoy a narrative of a game myself, like I did with Nier Automata and or Automata, however you say it, Sekiro, the Dark Souls franchises, all of that. Like, I think that the gaming market has become so broad and so specific and niche that there is no longer a need to be the best company with the best product, with the best thing. It's all about you and what these different pieces of tech do for you. So I think we can all reach that conclusion, unless anyone else has any closing statements.
I think we should have another one of those.
Another what?
Like that.
And another podcast. You guys can gladly join. I have a lot of episodes planned. This has
Yeah.
been the first episode of Underground Arcade. My name is Archer Lopez. I'm your main host. This has been CK as my co-host, and Alex and Costa,
Thank you for having us.
owners
Thanks,
of
yeah.
Matrix VR, as our special guests. We really do hope to see you guys more. We're going to be posting this on social media. Make sure to follow. And even if you think that this is a cringing gamer podcast, well, eat my ass, because this is actually really good. This has been Archer
That's
Lopez. And
demonetized now.
thank you so much for listening. And tune in to the next episode. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye.